Good morning. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks for taking a few minutes. I know you guys are pretty busy out there today.
Absolutely. We have nearly 150 paddlers signed up. We had our first group go out. That went out at 8 a.m. That was the 22.5 milers. That's the Around the Island paddlers. That's the most grueling race. At 9:30, we have our next group going out, which is the 8-mile race. And then at 10 a.m., we have the 4-mile social race going. So we're packing them in here, and it's a great day. The weather's great, so we're real happy with the turnout.
Now, what seed did my man Paul Junta from Shore Hardware get?
He's, of course, very active in the race. He's actually the director of the event. I'm the president, but he is.
Is he racing today?
Of the event. He is out there.
Nice.
He's out there. He's probably, I would imagine the top 5. He's been training. He's looking good, so he's a contender.
He's the number 5 overall seed?
I don't know yet. Well, it's hard to say. We'll see probably next hour who's in the top 5 pack there, but they all kind of lead together. They all kind of are neck and neck in the beginning, and then you start to see the more elite guys in the top 5.
I'll check with him. I'll check with him on Monday, see how sore he is. That sounds like a heck of a grueling race, like you said. I mean, 22.5 miles on a stand-up paddleboard. I don't even know if I'd want to go a mile and a half on one of those.
I did it one year, the 22.5 mile, and I literally had a hard time walking for 2 days afterwards.
So tell us more about this event. Obviously, the Paddle for a Cause has been going on for about a decade now, and got started with Dean Randazzo, who we had on last year talking about the race, and he's a guy who's gone through cancer a couple times and has beaten it. So he's got to be an inspiration to a lot of these people that show up, right?
He truly is. He's here today walking around, shaking hands, and doing photo ops, and, he's a survivor. He had cancer very badly, and 4 times that he came out of remission, and his brother helped him with stem cells, and that's really what has helped him stay in remission. But 10 years ago, we started the first paddle. We have several events. Our very first event was in 2001, which is Surf for a Cause, our surf contest there in Margate in front of Lucy the Elephant. And we've had other events come into fruition since then. Paddle for a Cause has grown to be the most lucrative as far as fundraising dollars. Last year we raised $96,000. This year we're hoping to pass the $100,000 mark. And what it is it's each paddler gets their own fundraising page. And it's like a paddle-thon, and they try to raise as much money as possible a month or 2 prior to the event. And then we give prizes to the top earners. We have one individual, John Baker, who's actually an ambassador to the Dean Randazzo Cancer Foundation. I think he's raised over $8,000 just as one individual. Another individual, Karen Grant, who's one of our trustees, has raised over $8,000. And when you have 140-something paddlers all raising, hundreds or thousands of dollars, it adds up. So
sure.
The model has worked, and it's proven to be very lucrative for our best fundraiser by far. So we're really pleased with it.
Talk with Mark Zappone. He's the president of the Dean Randazzo Cancer Foundation. And Mark, I was reading Dave Weinberg's story in the Press of Atlantic City today, and obviously you guys are doing well with that. I guess almost $1 million raised since you guys started this thing. So it's definitely become a huge event at the Jersey Shore here each and every summer. How big has it gotten? I mean, you mentioned over 150 paddlers, but how many other people are involved? You have people coming out for kind of just to be there, right? I mean, not everybody's a stand-up paddleboarder.
Correct. We have an after party, which is down here at the Golden Nugget Marina on the deck. There's live music. There's a buffet. There's 2 buffets. And we have silent auction items. Many people will just come for that at 4. We also have an award ceremony at the after party where the top paddlers get awards. We're also honoring this year the original 7, as we call them. These were the first 7 paddlers that did it 10 years ago. Our very first Paddle for a Cause, there was 7 paddlers, and now we're at nearly 150. I think they're all here. I'm not sure. I think there's one guy that has not arrived yet because many of them live out of state now. And we're honoring them tonight with some nice plaques, and Paul's going to say a few words. And, people come for this. It's a great time. Again, there's live music, and some people will just come and hang out in the parking lot. We have vendors. Looking right now at a bunch of tents, Nova Care, Rehabilitation, Boardwalk, Surf, our tents. We selling merchandise, so people will come and just hang out here in the parking lot, which is right by where we launch at Golden Nugget Marina. And then later, as I mentioned, the after parties on the deck at Golden Nugget Marina at 4. So, yeah, people do come down just to be part of it and volunteer. Many people just come and say, hey, can I help out? And we always have a need for some help, so that's great.
Now, Mark, have you guys gotten into using the technology, like the GoPro cameras strapped to the heads or drones or anything like that?
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because we give goodie bags every year. So every registrant gets a little goodie bag when they register, and in it we have these little kind of selfie where you can hold your phone out on a little, I don't know what it's called, a little bracket, and it can help you video as you're out there.
Like strapped to your chest kind of thing?
Yeah, it can strap to your, I believe it can strap to your chest, and it also has an extender pole so you can hold it up, and it gives you like a bird's eye view of yourself.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that have, I saw a bunch this morning, some pretty cool cameras and video cameras strapped to their boards. We actually have a virtual tour of the whole course, and we started a new category this year officially. We kind of had it unofficially last year. It's called the virtual paddler, and that's for people that can't come to the event today or physically aren't able to paddle for whatever physical limitations they may have. And they can go on this link and they can actually kind of do the course on the computer, and they can still raise money and be part of it, you know, without actually having to paddle.
That's awesome.
And,
yeah. When you're involved with these kind of fundraising events, you kind of have to keep up with the technology and find new ways to engage people, right?
Yeah, and we're just trying to each year outdo the previous year. And it's getting harder, you know, it's getting harder, but it's fun trying to be innovative and progress.
Yeah, that would be kind of a cool thing to have, a drone flying over, the first 3 or 4 guys coming in to the finish line.
That would be very neat. That might be something we can do next year. That would be great.
Well, I'll have to reach out to my boy Mark Ulmer down there at Cape May. He's got himself a drone.
Oh, nice. Nice.
He videos, like sometimes he'll video the Ocean City football field from above and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's great. I've seen some footage. Surf contests these days, and we at times, we didn't do it this past year, but at times we have another surf contest besides the one in September, which again is our Surf for a Cause. In February, we've been kind of doing it every other year. We have Freeze for a Cause, and we have talked about using drones to kind of film that because we're way out in the ocean.
Right.
This one event, Freeze for a Cause, the break is kind of far out, and you'll see this on ESPN at times with surf contests that they'll use drones. But yeah, so we played with the idea, but it definitely is a good idea.
Now, how's the surf out there today, Mark? How are the conditions? Obviously, you want it to be as calm as possible when you're stand-up paddleboarding. Yeah,
I'm looking at the harbor right now, which it's pretty calm here, but I can feel the wind, this south wind. As the morning kind of gives way, the wind will likely start picking up more and more. And they're going to have a little bit of a challenge, we predict, when they get to the ocean leg of it. They're starting in the bay first, so they'll go in the bay, and they'll go all the way down to Longport Inlet there, and then they'll enter in the ocean. And when they get to that point with the south wind in their face, and the wind will have picked up by then, it's going to be tough. And we have support boats following them, but I don't envy those guys at that point in the course, that's for sure.
Mark, before we let you go, if there's anybody out there driving around listening, looking for something to do today, where should they show up, and how can they get involved with everything that's going on today?
Sure. No, thanks for asking. So it's at the Golden Nugget Marina, also known as the Farley State Marina, here in Atlantic City. If you come down to the Golden Nugget, you can't help but to see our signs if you want to be part of what we call the parking lot scene. That's going to go on till about 3:30ish, 4 o'clock in that range. And again, there's tents here. We got food. We got a little music. A lot of volunteers walking around. Paddlers still going out. Our last paddler group is going out at 10. And then at 4 o'clock is the after party. Live music. They can go right to the Golden Nugget deck looking out at the marina. And we have food, prizes, silent auction, and just a great cause and a great time.
Awesome. Great stuff, Mark. Up against the break. Got to let you go, but enjoy the rest of the day, and thanks for taking a few minutes.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great weekend, buddy.
Bye-bye.
That was Mark Zappone, president of the Dean Randazzo Cancer Foundation. Huge event going on out at the Golden Nugget in Atlantic City, the marina down there. So get out there if you get a chance.